Now, the murder of Laken Riley, on the other hand, actually was the result of systemic injustice. The government provided her killer access to this country in violation of the law.
The trial for Jose Ibarra, an illegal immigrant accused of murdering 22-year-old nursing student LAKEN Riley while she was jogging on the University Georgia campus, is currently underway. The details of this case are profoundly tragic and unsettling. Recently, commentator Matt Walsh highlighted the stark contrast in public reaction, noting that while George Floyd's death sparked nationwide protest and outrage, the brutal murder of Laken Riley has not received a comparable level of attention. Walsh also criticized President Biden's handling of the situation, pointing out that instead of offering condolences to Laken Riley's grieving family, the president shifted the focus to terminology, referring to Ibarra as an undocumented immigrant rather than an illegal immigrant. Let's listen.
As you recall, the country endured a year of rioting over George Floyd, costing billions of dollars and leading to the deaths of several Americans. Police stations and churches were torched, federal courthouses were attacked, small businesses were destroyed. Members of Congress wore kente cloth and got down on one knee. It was all in service of a lie that Floyd's death was the result of systemic injustice instead of his own decisions. In particular, his decision to spend his life committing serious crimes, culminating in an attempt to defraud a business while high on enough fentanyl to kill a horse. Now, the murder of Laken Riley, on the other hand, actually was the result of systemic injustice. The government provided her killer access to this country in violation of the law. Then the government gave him free housing and meals and airfare to go wherever he wanted, which is very common, by the way. As House investigators found earlier this year, more than 50 airports have been used by DHS to transport more than 400,000 illegal aliens in this manner since January of last year. More than 1 million illegal aliens are on the waiting list right now. And the government did all this without putting it up for a vote or asking whether Americans wanted this to happen, even though overwhelmingly, of course, they don't. And then after one of these illegal aliens brutally murders a nursing student, the President of the United States finally apologized, but not to the victim or her family. Instead, he apologized for calling the killer an illegal during the State of the Union after mispronouncing Laken Riley's name. Here's that again to refresh our memories.
Laken Riley, an innocent young woman who was killed by an illegal. That's right.
You use the word illegal when talking about the man who allegedly killed Laken Riley.
An undocumented person. And I shouldn't have used illegal. It's undocumented. When I spoke about the difference between Trump and me, one of the things I talked about on the border was that the way he talks about vermin, the way he talks about these people polluting the blood. I talked about what I'm not going to do, what I won't do. I'm not going to treat any of these people with disrespect. Look, they built the country.
Now, when Biden made that apology, he knew that Riley's death could have been prevented several times in several different cities. His DHS knew that they had assisted the perpetrator of this heinous crime several times over. But the only apology that Biden could muster was to criminals like Jose Ibarra. He said illegal aliens built this country, which doesn't even begin to make sense. He didn't say a word about the role of these secret resettlement flights in causing Laken Riley's death, maybe because he was hoping we'd never find out about it. But now we have found out about it thanks to testimony from the killer's roommate, who incidentally is also in the country illegally, of course. This is what the open borders agenda means in practice.
As someone observing from the outside the United States, I often wonder why American politicians would allow unchecked illegal immigration, fully aware of its links to rising crime, violence, cultural erosion, and the strain on public resources. I could not believe that any responsible leader would permit such harm to their own country without ulterior motives. So I did more research, and with the help of some conservative commentators, I discovered the motive behind these politicians. For Democrats, the motivation seems to lie in creating a reliable voter base. Illegal immigrants being dependent on government assistance and benefits may naturally align with the Democratic platform. For Republicans, the priority often revolves around access to low-cost labor for their wealthy donors, especially since many American citizens are unwilling to perform the same jobs for the same wages. With both major political parties benefiting from illegal immigration in different ways, there appears to be little political will to enforce existing laws or introduce meaningful reforms to address the issue. Fortunately for America, Donald Trump entered the political arena and disrupted the status quo, exposing the hypocrisy and double standards of many politicians on the issue of illegal immigration. Given this, it's no surprise that Trump is so intensely opposed by the media, the political establishment, and the so-called deep state. Let me know your thoughts in the comments.